live here. Double checking. Just want to make sure that we are live. I'm alive. Did you tighten this up, Nick?
It's alive.
Get off my microphone, man.
We're live.
Yeah, we're live. Let me share it. Everybody share.
Actually,
Why doesn't Chris share?
will you turn
I'm
me on?
sharing.
Number 2.
Huh?
Number 2, turn me on, the mic. Nope. Up top.
Thank you. Yeah, I turned that off so I don't pick up any ambient sounds when we're.
I mean, I'd almost prefer it off if you don't mind. So we don't have to listen to his dumbass. Oh, that's horrible. David, you should be ashamed of yourself.
But I'm not.
Slap.
Yeah.
Slap, slap.
All right, let's get this shit done. We'll get right into talking about our weekend here, how everybody's weekend went, and then we'll get right into...
I went skydiving, Rocky Mountain climbing.
Interesting. What'd you say, Nick? Yeah, that's what I thought. Interesting.
I went 2.7
Seconds.
Okay, all right.
Bull man, Fu Manchu.
So we're live. We're live.
Hey!
We're share. Why don't you ever share?
Welcome to life.
You ever think about going on your iPhone and sharing it on your personal page? So everybody that's on your personal page will get an alert that you're actually in a video, and then they'll watch it.
Or
I
pick up
do.
a tab.
I share it every day.
No, you don't.
Or
You
buy
have to
your
share it
friends a
live.
drink.
Why won't you? Why wouldn't you share it live?
Or buy your friends a drink.
You know how to do that, right? Like, there's a reason we share this.
Share.
We share it live.
Right.
So that
He
it's-
shares it live because you might have friends that are on Facebook right now, and they might want to watch my handsome face talk,
Okay.
or maybe not. I mean, we have like 10 that come on, and then most of them fall off. So I'm just kidding. All right, let's talk about our weekend, shall we?
Okay.
We got some new.
Oh, I'm Dropkick Dave, by the way.
Yeah, hey, I'm Nick.
That's the Nick, and
I'm
that's
Chris.
Chris Fry.
CGF.
Yeah, CG.
G
Christopher,
is for Gump. I'm Christopher Gump Fry.
Christopher G. Fry, Esquire.
Life is
And
like
I
a
like
box
chocolates.
of chocolates.
All right, so we're gonna get into a bunch of shit up here. I see a bunch of you wrote a bunch of stuff up there today.
Did you eat both muffins?
Oh yeah, did you eat both muffins?
Yes.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What happened to your diet, dude?
Well, listen.
You're not even walking anymore.
It went out. Yeah, I have been walking.
Did you
I
walk
just
this
haven't
morning?
been dieting.
Did
No,
you walk
I didn't
this
walk
morning?
this morning.
Oh, then you haven't been walking.
He's got a toe issue.
Well,
Did you walk yesterday?
yeah, I have a toe issue.
Oh yeah, you didn't walk yesterday.
Yeah, I did. Or
No,
did I?
you
no,
didn't.
no, I was with
No.
Christopher.
Okay, but you're still walking.
Christopher can't walk.
No,
Did you walk Friday? No,
I stomped on his foot.
he didn't walk Friday either. But you're still walking.
I am.
Listen,
Ish.
the hey, listen, just start
Ish.
Monday.
I rode a bike yesterday.
Did you really?
Mhm.
I rode. Oh man, we had a
Dave has a new addiction. You're welcome.
yeah, bicycling.
It's cycling.
and something else, but we're not going to
Riding,
Yeah, riding. Is it cycling? Is that what it's called?
You is cycling.
For me, it's cycling.
cycling.
And I have another addiction too, but we're not going to get into that right now.
Okay.
Let's talk about your weekend, Chris. How was your weekend?
My weekend was good.
All right.
That's all you get.
Very nice. This is a talk show,
Yeah, he's like, fuck you.
which implies
It was-
talking.
It was
Yeah.
fine. It was just fine.
So you spent some time with your son, and it was just fine.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Interesting.
Watched the UFC fights. Unfortunately, a couple of them didn't go as we expected
As he
or
planned?
hoped.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
what
I think
happens.
one guy like broke his ankle or something.
How? How do you break your ankle? Kicking someone?
He got
Well, the
kicked.
other guy kicked him like in a low calf kick, and I think it kind of caused like a nerve block. And when he went to step forward to punch, he stepped on the top of his foot and rolled his ankle under.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Yeah,
That hurts.
I've done that.
Yeah.
So
of
course,
I'm drinking
yeah,
coffee. What are you drinking? Fiji water?
I am drinking Fiji water,
Interesting.
And I'm drinking
Just
St.
regular
Cloud's
water.
finest.
Yeah, regular water.
Public's finest. That's
All right, well,
from a natural spring.
So you spent the
Think-
weekend with your son, and you had a good time. You watched UFC. You had a great weekend. Nick, how was your weekend?
Yep.
Spent Saturday with my daughter. Well, I came in here, and then Saturday afternoon, my daughter took me out to dinner
Oh, nice.
for my birthday, belated birthday dinner, and then we watched a movie. I turned her on to Silver Cloud Lining Playbook.
Oh yeah,
Great
Oh, that's a
movie.
great movie.
Fantastic
with
movie.
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, you know who else is in it? Shea Wiggum.
Oh yeah, that's right. We
He's-
went to high school with that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
She's in it. Unreal.
she was like, because she does not prefer the actress from the Hunger Games.
I love her.
She's fantastic in that
Yeah.
movie.
Oh,
And
she's
after the
much
movie, she
better.
goes, "Dad, I got to tell you, you totally turned me around on her
Yeah.
because she's always like she plays the same part.
Yeah.
You know, blah
No,
blah
she's
blah.
good in that
and
movie.
She was amazing.
Yeah, I had a good weekend. Went away for the weekend. Great time. Went bicycling over in
Fort DeSoto.
Fort DeSoto Park. So it was nice over there. Weather.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Weather-
There's a
Weather-
campground there too, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, campground, all kinds of stuff.
My
So
brother
it's
camped
beautiful.
there. It's pretty, right?
Oh, it's
Yeah,
gorgeous, man.
and they have a
Absolutely
fort too.
Yeah, they have a fort, old fort.
Are you allowed
Yeah.
to stay in it?
Well, you can visit it.
You could stay in it, I guess.
You can
If you
visit,
had a
but
hack-
you just can't say. It's kind of like going to your
Yeah.
in-laws.
Yeah, if you had a hacksaw, maybe you could open it.
yeah, you could probably stay in it. I don't know.
I mean, if
So,
you want to sleep on a
Let me ask you
concrete
this: I've
slab,
never been there. Is it on the intercoastal or is it on the coast?
it's on the
It's on the
it's
coast.
on the
I
coast.
believe.
It's down. It's the farthest most tip of St. Pete.
Correct.
South, right?
Yeah, well, that would be
yes.
the tip.
Well, it could be the north tip.
Well, it can't because that's Clearwater.
But if it's St. Pete,
It's the south tip.
okay.
There's only two tips: a top tip and a bottom tip.
All right. So the top is St.
The top is Clearwater.
The top tip is Tallahassee.
No, Jesus, man. Fucking who brought him on here?
Do you want me to answer that?
All right.
I know the answer.
Bottom, most southern part of St. Pete.
Okay.
On the tip, Tierra Verde, and then you have Fort DeSoto Park. It's beautiful down there. A little windy or whatever, but it was nice. The weather was off and on. It was nice.
Man,
It was
it's
nice
nice
place.
just smelling the sea
It's
air.
good to go over there and just I relax over there. You know.
You
that.
see the
I mean,
ocean air, man, or
yeah.
you smell
Yeah.
that ocean
yeah.
air.
If I'm over there, I relax. I needed to get away. A lot of decisions and a lot of things are happening, so I needed to get over there and
It's
just.
a nice
relax.
area,
So,
man.
Yeah, it's beautiful over there. Well, we lived over there for a long
Yeah,
time,
it's
man. It was
calm.
nice to live in
Is it
Clearwater
Don?
and just drive a half hour and be there.
Is that the Don Cesar? Is that St. Pete Beach?
Don Cesar is St.
Yes.
Pete Beach.
So it's a little further south.
It's
Than
further south.
Yes.
Of that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's on the tip.
It's on the bottom
The
tip.
trade winds and the rotating
With the
restaurant is
southern
right there
tip.
as well, right?
Trade winds and rotating restaurants
north of it.
North.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's on the southern tip.
It's on the northern tip. No.
Don't go there.
Jesus. I might have to go back tonight.
Find it again.
Don't you love how all the relaxation
Yeah.
goes out the door in like less than
Yeah.
3 minutes on
And
the
then
show?
and then I rode this morning. Went out for my ride this morning. It was pretty good. Love riding, man. This morning's great. It was cooler.
On a trail?
Yeah, we didn't ride. Of course, she didn't ride with me today, which broke my heart. But we rode yesterday, and it was like in the middle of the afternoon, man. It's tough. It is tough, man. It drained
Not only
us,
that,
dude.
but that heat coming off of
Oh,
the pavement, man,
God.
is like
Yeah,
you feel.
it-
It really does feel
Yeah.
like you're in a steam room.
yeah, it
Even in the trees, the humidity from the trees,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like a
it kicked my ass for sure.
I went riding, and I remember I told you go on Sylvan Lake Park Road, right, or Sylvan Lake Drive,
Right.
that road that I tell you about. Well, it goes, it's dips down, and there's like, I swear to you, in the summertime, there's like a thermocline
Oh yeah,
where the temperature will feel like it's one, and then you dip down, and I believe you go, it's super low, and when you go down, man, the air is like so much thicker, and then you come back up, and you can actually feel that there's like an area there that is like super hot, and it's like it's pure hell.
he said thicker.
I didn't mess with.
Did you get it?
I don't know he said that. Man, you keep fucking with my
I
microphone.
haven't
dude.
touched any of that.
That's bullshit.
I
First of
promise
all, this
you.
was tight. Then who's been sitting here?
I have not touched that at all.
Somebody's been sitting here.
I've been sitting there, but I haven't messed with the mic at all.
Someone has, because this was tight. It was never that way. Maybe Joe. Was Joe sitting here? Oh, okay, whatever.
Have you ever seen
That's
me
right.
mess with that? Never mind.
Yeah,
You
I'm
didn't
not
pay
answering.
attention.
exactly. All right, so
Okay.
let's talk about some consult stuff. You guys want to do that?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. Go ahead. What's up?
It's a
What's going
video
on?
consultation program.
No, we know that. We know what consult is. But we don't know. A lot of people don't know.
What it does.
Let's just talk. What's going on in court? What's going on in court? Anybody know what's going
Man,
on in
there's
court?
some well.
So the bar exam has been
I was
pushed
about to
back.
say, we
Right.
talked about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, the bar exam has been pushed way back.
They're arguing nationally. Every state has its own issue with bar exams right now, and they're talking about like a universal bar exam that is supposed to be in October. About it being like quote unquote the emergency online bar exam now.
That's going to be tough.
Well, let me ask you this: how do you do that? Because don't states regulate like their own laws too? I mean,
Yes.
don't you have to learn? So, say you're in Pennsylvania and you just go on for a regular bar exam, a nationwide bar exam.
Right.
I mean, that makes no sense
Right.
to me.
Well,
right?
part of the difficulty is that different states use different terminology to mean the same thing.
Oh.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Like, for example, some states may use the word assault that refers to what Florida would say is a battery, which means making contact with somebody. An assault would be a threat without contact. So, unless you change the entire nation's vocabulary or legal vocabulary, you may have some people in one state that don't or are thinking that one thing is something different than in another state.
And they typically do not do online bar exams, correct? Typically, they're in-person 2 or 3 day event.
Right, yeah. And you go in there and it's all monitored. They have, the
Proxies?
whatever they call them, they're walking around monitoring so to make sure people aren't looking at other people's,
Have you ever known
essays.
anybody or heard any stories about anybody getting busted for cheating at a bar exam?
I've heard stories. I don't remember them specifically. Actually, I thought there was a story. It was years ago, but I think where I want to say, I don't remember if it was the bar exam or if it was like the LSAT, the law
sounds like a
school
really tough
admissions
question.
test. No, but
Good question.
Somebody apparently had access to a person who worked for the people who were putting on the bar exam,
Right.
and had received like some kind of either like
Pre-test info?
yeah, and they kind of knew what the questions were going to be, and then they passed it around in groups or sold it and things like that. So a lot of people kind of had a pretty good idea of what was going to be asked, or at least
Questions
what
about the law?
potential questions would be. Yeah,
You guys really work well together.
Well, let me ask you this. In taking a bar exam, if you are that far into your craft, right?
right.
Let me go back a little further. In law school, if you were an average student,
Correct.
did you see a lot of bad students? Did you, in your experience?
Well, usually the first year of law school, they make it really tough because they're trying to weed people out who
Right.
they feel are just kind of winging it and saying, hey, let me give this a shot. They want people there who are,
Right.
dedicated
Right.
to that being their profession. So, and medical school, from my understanding, is the same way. So, the first year of law school is pretty tough. It's pretty standardized. Like most law schools give the same,
Yeah.
courses,
So will you answer the question now?
which was.
Did you have any like shitty law students? Like, did you
Sure.
see people that were like that just sucked?
I think
Yeah.
there's shitty students everywhere, right?
Well, I mean,
I mean-
but I would think like you're in law school. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in law school. You're there to be an attorney. I would think that you're committed to your craft, right?
Right.
Is that a craft? Or is
It's
it
a
just a,
prof-
a
it's
bad
a prof-
decision?
No, I mean there's skill involved.
Look at how he's
obviously.
looking at me. He's like,
He's like,
"Listen,
why are you doing this to
motherfucker."
me?
Yeah, listen, you son of a bitch.
Well, I mean it's like not everybody is a great baseball player.
Right. Well,
I mean
that's not my problem.
Yeah, but I mean,
skill
you
involved.
understand what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah,
You know,
I mean
there's-
I've seen people who've come out of college and get into law school that have sterling applications in their 4 point whatever summa cum laude and all these different
at like
events
Seminole
and,
State,
and they bomb out in law school.
right?
There's a lot of it is kind of thinking out of the box and analytical thinking, and they may be great at test taking, but they may suck at analytical thinking.
And it's also a lot of writing, right?
It's a ton of writing. Yes.
Yeah.
So if you can take a test and fill in the bubble, you may not be able to write well, and that's where.
Right. So certain portions, if I recall, I think on certain portions of the bar there were like multiple choice questions, but I remember it was a lot because they call them the blue books, and you hand in these little blue covered books, and they're essay books. So the questions are long, and then you got to recognize the issues, and then write your answers from there.
Jesus.
It's a bitch.
Not in a million years would I ever put myself through that.
Miserable.
Right. So where I'm going with this is like the cheating thing outside of actually recovering a test, like looking over at like number 6 and seeing what they answered is like, it's not going to happen because
Probably not.
it's an essay form
Right.
and you can't,
Right.
you know.
And not only that, but different states have different subjects that are covered on the bar exam, which makes some states at least arguably more difficult, their bar exams, than other states because of the number of subjects that you have to study for it. For example, everybody pretty much has the same basic subjects, constitutional law and contracts, real property, things like that. But other states may have things like bankruptcy or, just other more specific areas of law that you may not have even taken a course in that you have to now study and know for the bar exam. I think New York's like that, California, Texas. There's a few of them that have different.
So it's more comprehensive.
Yeah, I just think more subject matter that you have to cover in about the same amount of time. So, I had a friend of mine who took 6 bar exams in
Show
different
off.
states
And passed them all, right?
Yeah,
Jerk.
Some people are smart.
Yeah, but could you be in all 6 states at one time?
No, but you could build one hell of a practice, though, couldn't you?
yeah.
Right? So, crazy.
The most I've talked to, and since we've been doing this, is a guy had 5, and he was tooting his horn, and I go, "Oh, my buddy in here has one that went to 6." He just got quiet real quick. It was
Yeah.
quiet.
Well, I had a friend of mine graduated from Yale Law School, and one of the guys in his class had
Really?
what is it?
Yeah.
I guess for lack of a better word,
Was his name Thurston?
Right. He had a photographic memory, so he could read and remember everything, from just recall, and so he got A's and passed everything, but he got out into private practice or into practice and was virtually useless.
Just bombed?
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
A guy like that's more of a contracts guy, isn't he?
Yeah, actually he went into he got out of law and apparently went into some other field where it was just completely unrelated to law. But yeah, so I mean, just depends,
Yeah, no. It's just amazing to me, that people would consider cheating. First of all, where ethics is so important
Right.
in law, and I know that the fine line of it is just like pushing the boundaries. Like we've had a lot of conversations about what's is it legal or isn't it? And you're like, well, it's all up to interpretation.
Well, yeah, cheating is pretty much if you're cheating on a bar exam, you're probably going to have a rough time in practice. But
You're probably going to represent some bookie.
Man,
you could.
I need a pillow.
My Pillow?
Just
You can
a
buy
pillow.
one and get one free now.
Can you really?
I think so.
Oh,
At least that's what the guy with the mustache says.
Get mad
He's the one that took, 10 years to invent My Pillow.
yeah.
because he was in recovery the whole time.
Right.
Let's talk about this Epstein stuff.
Again?
His name was Rip Van Winkle.
Well, I didn't understand a lot of the legal jargon, so I had him look it over, and he kind of looked into how he was allowed to have a plea arrangement for solicitation with all the charges that he had,
Right.
and it was bizarre. I mean,
Well, for what he was accused of doing, the negotiated plea that, 18 months?
Yeah.
And then half or over half of that was work release where he wasn't
Most of
even
it.
in custody.
most of it.
So,
Sorry.
so they challenged it, and some people claim that the
Let me put the camera
prosecutors.
right on you. Perfect.
Hiya. So they challenged the verdict and said that it was unfair and that the prosecutors had failed to sufficiently notify all the victims under the Victims' Rights Act, and that therefore the verdict should be overturned. And that went up on appeal, or I think they agreed with them, right? The district court agreed.
They upheld it.
They upheld it, and so it went to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeal in Atlanta, and they just came out with a ruling and said, nope, we didn't find sufficient evidence that the prosecutors failed to notify the victims, so the verdict stands,
You said
which really is kind of irrelevant since he
he's dead,
is dead.
but don't you think that's more about the victims being able to sue?
Could be, yeah. I mean, it depends on what the plea is. I mean, the length of the sentence is going to have nothing to do with whether or not they can sue.
Oh, okay.
He could have been found not guilty at
And they could
trial,
still sue.
and it could still sue.
Okay.
It's two different systems, two different, like OJ, and except in that case they sued and won, and he claimed he had nothing
They took
left
his
to
sports
pay.
stuff.
Chris learned what a
Yeah.
meme was today.
A meme?
Yeah, he goes, "What's
A
a
meme?
meme?" Because in the article they mentioned that there was so many Jeffrey
Yeah,
Epstein memes, and we started reading the memes, and it said like one of the last people to visit Epstein in prison, and it showed Hillary Clinton with a mustache, and she looked like Ditka.
A blonde did.
Then they had
Yeah.
another one, and it said that
worst.
it's not good to go to an island where the major source of food that you order is chicken nuggets. They had a picture of a kid's menu, and I'm like, oh my god, this is like,
Pretty bad.
oh, it was just like, Halloween, Christmas lights.
Oh yeah, they.
Christmas lights are like Epstein; they don't hang themselves.
I got this meme I need to show you.
But-
my friend M sent me this.
So, you had said that you had prosecuted people for life with lesser charges.
Oh yeah.
That's a surprising part. And he had like literally, like hundreds. Not that hundreds were mentioned in that particular case, but in the federal immunity.
Yeah, they granted him federal immunity as part of the plea
his
deal
plea.
so that he wouldn't be prosecuted in federal court, nor would they go after any co-conspirators or people who were involved in bringing the victims to him. That was part of the prosecutor's
I think Dershowitz
agreement.
was his lawyer.
Yeah, his lawyer and his customer.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Right? From what I understand, right?
Yeah.
Is that not right?
No, correct.
I mean,
agree
I
with
think
you.
I think there's a laundry list.
Oh, it probably
people.
goes far deeper than
Yeah.
what anyone will ever figure
Well,
out.
let me ask you this. If that was part of the plea agreement, then how does this Giselle chick getting popped?
Oh, she's getting popped.
Oh,
I don't know.
I'm telling you right now, she's going to come out with a list.
Oh, I think that she's gonna hang herself. Something's gonna happen with her. I think she's definitely gonna go. She's gonna.
Well, I'm trying to think of why a prosecutor would agree to a plea agreement with one defendant and as part of it agree not to go after co-defendants. That's kind of weird to me.
Well, look at what happened to him. He was on Trump's. He was working for Trump. He got a come up.
Acosta, was it, right?
Acosta. Anyway,
Yeah,
it's
and
just
then-
crazy.
Yep. Speaking of crazy, we've had some a couple of crazy quotes out of the state of Pennsylvania. Some judges up there.
Dave, you never want to get busted in Pennsylvania.
Busted for what?
Anything.
Anything.
Oh, okay.
You got some of the comments, right? Is that the...
Thank you.
So this one guy, Tranquilli, the judge, he's got ethics charges, and he was criticized for referring to a black juror who wore a kerchief on her head as Aunt Jemima on the jury.
You're kidding me.
And he said the juror's demeanor showed a negative attitude toward. Now, mind you, this is all on record. Showed a negative attitude towards the prosecution's case. He allegedly told the prosecutor he knew darn well that when the juror goes home to her baby daddy, he probably slinging heroin too. Oh, that's not all.
This is a juror that the judge is addressing.
During a custody consultation, he said that he didn't care about the couple's children. His only concern was his own children, and he would split the couple's baby in half like Solomon and sleep like a baby that night. He discussed the issues of communication between the parties, affecting an accent and dialect he described as Ebonics. When I say communication, I don't mean and then the bitch does this and then the bitch does that.
Are you kidding?
And they spell it phonetically like that, and this is his disciplinary thing.
So who's saying this? The jurors?
This
The
is
judge.
The
This
judge
the
is saying
judge.
this.
Yeah.
The judge.
And by the way, this is not just one case. These are several cases, right? During a criminal sentencing hearing, he said, "You're familiar with the phrase, you lay down with dogs, you wake up with fleas." He says, "So now you've laid down twice with dogs, but you've woken up with 2 lovely children. Probably 2 lovely children I'm betting you were probably not planning on. And for the cost of 3 shiny corners in any bathroom in any rest stop in Pennsylvania, you probably could have gone in a different direction."
Oh,
Man, that wasn't very nice.
no.
Yeah, he this guy is like so bitter. He's just I just, what are these guys thinking? And they can't, I mean, you know, like this is somebody that's actually supposed to be like non-biased.
On the record, and here's a Pennsylvania Superior Court Judge Rubenstein
Law.
in a domestic violence case, and he tells the woman who's the victim, he calls her "little blonde honey, you're too dumb to leave." Talking about the relationship, because it was an ongoing abusive relationship apparently. And then he says, "She tells me she was putting her money in a 401k so she could leave. That's a bunch of crap. Keep on doing that, and the 401k money will pay for your funeral. How can you stay with this knucklehead? You have no self-respect." And then he goes on to talk about the defendant, and he says, "So he's a real tough guy when it comes to beating on women. We've seen guys like that. They have their own inadequacies, and I'm not going to address them because I'm not an anatomist." On the record.
Dude, that's all in the record. I mean, what are these guys? I mean,
They think they can't be fired. They
Either
think
that-
they're invincible. They're like
it's-
politicians, man. They think
Yeah.
that they've been voted in. They don't think they could be thrown off the bench. I mean,
Yeah, they in law they used to call it robitis. You know, once they get the robe on, they start doing some wacky stuff.
but that's bizarre
saying
behavior,
some
man.
things.
You got to wonder, like, do they have like, you know, like PTSD from sitting on the bench, or
I was in a hearing one time. It was not my hearing, but I was waiting to go, and so I was kind of sitting in the wings, and
Perry Mason?
not really, but I'll say yes. So anyway, the judge is up. I'm sorry. There's another attorney up, and he's got a client. I don't remember the specific legal issue, but what I do remember is that it was a matter of whether or not the judge could take the client into custody under the circumstances. So he presents the judge with a brand new United States Supreme Court ruling that said the judge could not take the person into custody under those specific circumstances. And I do remember that the ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court was like right on point. So a week later, the Florida Supreme Court came out with an identical ruling based on the U.S. Supreme Court. So he quotes the 2 cases, and he says, "Judge, based on this case law, you can't take the client into custody." So the judge then orders the bailiffs to handcuff him and take him into custody. So the lawyer, obviously upset, says to the judge, "Judge, you can't do that. I have a U.S. Supreme Court and a Florida Supreme Court case right on point that you can't take him into custody." And the judge literally gets out of his chair, leans on the bench forward, and says, "What you don't understand is that a circuit court judge can do whatever he wants for this much time. Take him." And they took him out the door into the jail.
whoa.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? You got an election coming up. Someone's gonna run against you. You keep doing stuff like that. But it is amazing what
It was
some
more
of
about
them
like because he told
say.
him he couldn't do it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, watch me do it."
Watch me do it. Exactly.
That's just bizarre. Is that the craziest? One of the craziest?
Oh,
Listen,
I was
they're
stunned.
real
It was
people. I
just
mean,
like
all of them have mental health issues. I mean, there
Right,
there
I
could be a
mean,
bunch of issues. With it.
ego.
Who knows?
The other
you know?
lawyers
His
are
wife's
standing looking
divorcing
at each
him.
other
He's
going
got a
like,
small
did
penis.
he
Who
just
knows?
say
It could be
that?
a bunch of different things.
Right?
We need to have a sex, drugs, and rock and roll topic, I believe, on this show to kind of spice things up a little bit. Maybe we can start doing that on Wednesday, I think. Sex,
I think sex,
drugs,
do you
and
think
rock and roll.
Drugs and rock and roll should be Friday, and
Yeah, law sex. like stupid things
Sex
that
and
are
drugs,
like,
and then sex and rock
like
and
crazy
roll on a
things.
different day?
Attorneys like have been like proposition. Judges have been, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
Those kind of things.
that happens.
Yeah. Oh, it happens a lot.
Yeah,
It happens a lot.
it does.
What's the craziest alleged story that? I mean, we know it's Monday, but I mean,
Yeah, let's just go with
Give
one.
us a little.
Oh,
Give us a little. What our whistle?
well, I mean, I had a client one time, and she was an exotic dancer. We'll use
Stripper?
that phrase.
She worked for the Tiger.
Yeah.
She had some
Was it
rather
Tiger King?
Yeah.
rather substantial drug-related charges. I think it was like a co-conspirator to a trafficking.
Interesting.
At the bar.
Yeah, so we were talking about legal fees, and she was like, well, I really can't come up with that, but I can come up with something else if you'd like.
What exactly did she mean, Chris?
She meant sex,
Good times.
and a lot of it.
Oh my God.
Like anything goes. And I was like, you know what? I'd like to keep my bar license for a little bit longer.
Unbelievable, man.
Unless you intend on paying me 6 or 7 figures a year for the rest of my life.
And
No,
by that you
thank-
mean like 6 or 7 friends?
No,
Yeah.
thank you.
Or, yeah. yeah.
Look, I sleeping with you isn't enough. You need
Yeah.
6 or 7 more friends.
So this is where I would fail in the.
Well, and on that note, there was, I won't tell you what county or where it was, but there was an attorney that I knew who represented a dancer
Right.
who did apparently other things on the
Magic,
side
Magic Mike,
for money, and
other things.
Yeah.
Or
represented
people.
her, wound up dating her, and then married her.
No
And
shit.
then she and all of her friends basically bilked him for every penny he had. Took out a second mortgage on his house and spent it. They're having like wild party. Totally destroyed the guy. It was
Did he
like-
look happy after it?
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think the.
Do you think he went to Revive Lounge for like one of those?
I bet you he's got.
I
some
don't think
stories.
the.
Can we get him on the phone?
enhancements, were that attractive anymore after that.
When you say enhancements,
The 2 enhancements,
yeah, I bet.
plus probably some reductions in other areas.
Well, you had told an interesting story about a pharmacist.
And a donkey.
Yeah.
Listen to this pharmacist story.
Or was it a lamb?
Like the odds.
Whatever. Some kind of
So the
sweet little Bible animal.
the
Yes.
DEA, right, just happened to be in a pharmacy this one particular day, right?
Well, they were targeting some pharmacies because under the DEA regs, the pharmacists have to keep an
This is
itemized count
a
of
certain county on the West Coast.
pretty much every narcotic pill that they sell out of the.
Right. I think
Pharmacy.
that's they have
Yeah.
to do that now.
But they were
Yeah.
the number. Well, it's gotten way more regulated. Well,
Right.
it was regulated, but this particular county was the number 1 county in the country.
Right.
Right. For this,
biggest pill mill in the country.
so doctors were opening up pharmacies like in strip malls.
Yeah, they were open up like their pain clinics or whatever, and they didn't even live in Florida. They would just send down an ARPN and a business manager and open it like in a strip center, and these people would go in and they'd come out with prescriptions for like 1,500 pills a month.
Jesus, man.
It was like amazing.
Are you
So-
kidding me?
No, so listen
Yeah,
to this.
I mean, like Roxy's, Oxy's, and after that, the DEA since that time has come out with, regulations on how many what they call short-term analgesics they're allowed to.
and there was no sharing of information, I think, back then either, right? There was no.
Right. So this guy apparently was having a little fling with someone he knew who was
Dancer?
addicted to pain meds.
he was having an
No,
extramarital
she wasn't
affair.
actually. Yeah, he was basically having an affair with her, and he was basically skimming pills off of legitimate prescriptions and storing them, and would provide her with a bottle.
So
of
they like take a pill or 2 pills out of because you don't count them. It's not like you throw them out and count them.
right. Well, they actually pour them in a tray, and they
yeah, they
use
count
their
them, and
little
he like
spatula.
say,
Right.
I've
20
never,
for you, 2
I've
for me.
never once
Right,
counted any
and
of
probably
What a great idea.
99% of
Yeah.
people just grab their bottle and their
Yeah.
bag, and they're like, "Thank
Yeah.
you," and they're good to
Thanks.
go.
Yeah.
And then
Man,
they don't sit at home and count and make sure they're all there.
Only
So-
if you're dealing.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
So
you break them up and put them in little baggies.
Right.
So the DEA and the sheriff's office
Allegedly.
were
Yeah.
targeting this particular pharmacy and him in particular because they, I guess, had heard some rumors that he may be
Hot.
that his numbers were off
Yeah.
or fudged, shall we say? So the woman walks out of the store, and they came over and said, "Do you mind if we counted your, prescription?" And she was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So they dumped them out in a little pan on the hood of her car and counted them out, and they were like, a little bit short. So they went in and they found out that he was skimming pills off of legitimate patients, prescriptions, and then feeding them to his mistress, who was
Actually, it's a pretty smart idea
pill
if you
freak.
think about it. If you're
Yeah.
gonna, because nobody
Yeah,
counts their pills.
take one or two here, one or
Right.
two there, and then
Yeah.
at the end of the week he'd have 120, 140 pills and give them to
Jesus, man.
his paramour, shall we say, and
What's shocking is she's doing 100 pills a week.
right, and then he tries to break up the relationship, and this is how the whole thing broke loose. He tells her, I guess his wife was catching on, or there was some suspicion there, and he said, I can't do this anymore. And she says, yes, you can. And he says, I can't. And she says, well, then I'm going to the police.
Oh my God.
And so he
Well,
keeps,
no, listen to how she frames it. Tell him the story.
and so she continues to go in and get her prescriptions, and then she ends up getting arrested and ends up wearing a wire and goes into the store and is talking to him kind of on the side of the counter like, hey, where's my stuff for the week and stuff. And he's like, look, I really can't do this. And then he starts blurting everything out, and they've got him on tape. And
That's not good when that happens.
no, not at all.
That's what that split tail happened.
So there goes
Pain pills are a mother, man. They're bad, dude.
There
Bad,
goes-
bad, bad, bad news.
I can remember back when, we were in the height of it, and I can remember sitting in a restaurant, and it was a guy and a girl, and both attractive people, but they looked like this sitting at the table.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, are you awake? And it was it's just disgusting, absolutely disgusting. And then you'd meet you. I can remember being out and somebody going, "Oh man, my neck hurts. Do you know anybody got any painkillers? My neck hurts." And it was like, I noticed it was this one female, always something was wrong and she needed a painkiller. And
Right.
it was just like, dude, get the,
Yeah.
first of all, I don't do that shit, and just get the hell away. I mean, it was just
Right.
disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just scummy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She was that way with the yayo too.
Oh. I don't even know what that is. It sounded good. I'm just kidding. I know what it is.
The white lady.
Yeah. Yeah.
the white
Narcos.
Narcos. All right. Have we been on an hour?
Not yet.
Oh, man. 35.
Got a Florida man story.
Oh, all right. I'm ready for that.
Got two of them actually.
All right. Let's do it. Let's talk.
So
Fire
guy
away.
got
Probably
busted.
a homeless guy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Two. Well, you saw it on the board.
No, I didn't. I can't read that.
Oh, that's funny. And I didn't even put homeless. Good job.
Yeah.
Homeless man, where the Tampa Bay Rowdies play, the stadium,
Right?
lived for 2 weeks in a luxury suite.
That's awesome.
And not only did he just stay there and use it to sleep. By the way, they were open. They didn't have games, but there were people working there in the
Yeah.
offices,
Right.
right? And finally, a cleaning crew went in and was like, "What the hell?" And not only was he like sleeping there, but he'd been going down and getting food, and then he
From
had
the
like
concessions.
from the concession stands.
Cooking him up some fries.
Go
Yeah,
back
he was
up
crushing.
to the suite. He's got
Yeah, he's got
6
food up there.
TVs.
It gets even better. He was wearing like
open bar.
all the clothes, so he was decked out in like the shirt, shorts.
Got the whole Rowdies collection.
Had the
Sweatsuit.
got a
What are the
scarf
Rowdies?
on.
Soccer?
Yeah,
Soccer. Yeah.
yeah.
Jesus.
But he was living in there for like over 2 weeks, and we're like, man, we don't,
Hey, man.
we don't get it. Like
That's a hustle.
people have been here.
Right.
Like, oh man, I thought that's a great story.
And somebody apparently wasting their tickets for the season.
well, not only that,
Well-
but if you're going to go into a place, go into a luxury suite.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't sleeping like, under the steps somewhere. He picked a luxury suite.
You just got to find a better place, man.
Yeah.
That's what makes a bum or a hobo. Remember they used to call them hobos?
Yeah.
Hobos, yeah.
Homeless, bum, hobos, or whatever they are. Just
Yeah.
underprivileged people that don't have a place to sleep. That steps up their game. I mean, you're on
Oh,
a different
dude.
level.
Oh, yeah.
That's hustle.
Yeah.
That's taking your hustle to
I
a
like
different
it, man.
level.
Yeah. Do you ever see this guy in the corner says, so I only make $700 a month in Social Security?
Chris,
Is that his name?
when you said this guy,
No, not him. He's on the side of the road with
Although
a
I do that.
sign. Yeah, he's on the side of the road with
yeah,
a sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He creeped me out, man. A couple weeks ago, he had a doll.
Oh, I saw that.
And
He's
he
wearing
was-
it
he
around.
was-
yeah,
he was wearing around his
that
neck.
was the guy we saw.
And
yeah.
he had a sign, and he was like, I saw So I'm sitting there, and I thought, oh, that's a pretty interesting idea. And then he like focused, and he was looking at this lady, and he was moving the arm of the doll. And
Oh,
he
my
had
God.
this like creeper face, and I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
that just got really weird.
That's weird.
It was like really, really strange.
That's disgusting.
You're like, oh man, you're stepping up. Ooh, yeah, no. Mm-mm.
hey,
Yep.
can we talk about something real quick?
Sure.
Let's talk. So schools open back up
Oh yeah,
today.
Right.
Yeah, Seminole County.
Yeah, Seminole and Orange. So Orange County open, and they were supposed to have the kids come back to school, and they're gonna have to wear masks or whatever, but they'd have some interaction with other kids.
Weren't they going to test them too, or
I don't
something
know.
like that?
They delayed that, and now they're still doing virtual. So it's these kids can't even hang out with other kids, and on top of that, the virtual system. So I have a friend that has a son, and the virtual system. There were 15 people in the class, and was only allowing 3 people in the class.
Oh, I got on the room, in
Yeah.
the room, like the chat
Yeah.
room or whatever.
Yeah.
So the 12 people were locked out.
Yeah, 12 people were locked out. So, and do you know what they did for PE?
I have
They actually
no
have a
idea.
PE. So you know what they did for PE
Like
class? They
jumping
watched
jacks or
they
something?
watched a YouTube video, and then they took an exam after.
That
This is our education system right now.
It's,
speaking of which, and Christopher, having been here this weekend,
no names.
we were
Yeah.
talking to him, this unknown kid yesterday, and and he was saying he lives in an apartment off campus right across the street, from the main entrance.
Man, what a life! Huh? Remember those days?
Oh yeah, right. Like the whole apartment complex is just loaded with like
You just
Remember
you could
the
just
pool?
walk down
Remember
your
the
stairs.
pool?
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
you could just walk
And
out
yeah,
and like
his-
you hear where a party's going
his
on. you just go up
balcony
there.
overlooks the pool,
Yeah.
and it's like
Kegger.
oh, like-
Yeah, those were the days.
That's when people would actually invite you.
Oh,
and
those
say,
were
hey,
the
man,
cool
you
days.
have a-
Yeah, man.
Here's a cup.
Here's a beer bong.
You got
Right,
a couple.
yeah.
You got a couple bucks.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah, I got the bong. You got a 6-pack to fill it.
Yeah,
Sure.
exactly. Here's a beer bong, man, and you just do beer bongs and you hang out. You meet girls,
That's when you
freshman
used to
girls.
drink
I was
Busch
like a wolf,
beer, you know,
like,
it was
a,
like
like a wolf.
Carling's
wolf prey on
Black
a-
Label. Whoa.
Oh, I can remember.
But it was
I went-
beer.
I went to some huge parties.
Oh my
UF.
god! Yeah, UF. I went up there too. To some huge parties up there at UF. Mm.
Dude, I used to go to these date functions because I dated a girl in a sorority, and they would have 3 or 4 sororities,
Oh my god!
like at Jenny Springs. Like, just
Man,
22, 23-year-old women out there,
yeah,
bathing suits,
good times.
giggling.
Good
Trashed.
Yeah, trash. Good times.
So anyway, he was
Oh, yeah.
saying
Here we go.
no about the campus. You were just talking about what they're doing virtual. So the kids that are the students that are going back and living in the dorms still have to take virtual
Right.
courses.
Right.
And if they're not allowed into the dorms, they're not refunding their dorm fees. And in addition to that, now they've added a policy where if you go onto the campus, because most of the dorms are on the campus, the apartments are off the campus, you have to be
I
tested.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
If
you have to be tested every time you enter the campus again.
Tested for what?
you have-
COVID?
If you have
COVID.
a job off campus and you're living on campus,
Right.
every time you enter the campus, there's apparently a test that you have to
You
take.
have
But
to
you don't
go
get the
through a
test
test.
back for a couple days. So how does that even work?
That's my.
Well,
Maybe
we
they,
didn't know
like,
it-
do the fever test.
Yeah, he
or
didn't know the
something, yeah.
specifics or whether it's just the thermometer or whatever they're doing. So if you live off campus and work on campus, every time you come back on to go to work, you got to stop and get in line and get tested. Or if you live in the dorms on campus and go off campus to go shopping or anything else, every time you come back, you got to stop and get in line and get tested to
How
go
do
back
they
on
handle
campus.
delivery
Yeah,
orders
pizza
on
delivery and
campus?
shit. They probably don't allow it.
Probably.
They probably don't even allow like pizza orders, food orders, or anything
Listen,
like that.
Marty's daughter is going to LSU. And
I know.
they're-
You keep fucking rubbing it in my face. It's going to LSU. LSU.
Well, no, but listen to this. She pays.
Man, that'd be a
she's living
campus
in a
I'd love to
dorm.
live
All of her classes are online.
Oh, yeah, it's bullshit.
So
No, yeah.
she's paying out-of-state tuition,
Right.
right?
Right.
To take classes online.
Right. Yeah, I know.
And,
that makes no
and
sense.
living on campus.
Yeah, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. I don't know. Well, nobody planned for this, but there's been months here that people could have like
Come up
done
with
some kind of preparation.
plan, right?
Yeah. The educational system here in Florida is an absolute
I just
mess.
feel like they're ripping off. They're charging, and I read an article today how they're taking these virtual classes, right? But they're charging you the premium, where normally a virtual class is at a discounted rate because
Right.
they have one person teach it, but
Right.
they'll show it to like 5
Right.
classes, right? So, but they're charging premium for this now, which I don't know.
Makes no sense.
My brother's a professor at UCF, and all his classes are online, and he hates it. But that's not his choice. He's got to, he's got to do it.
Yeah.
Are there any word on with the 3 kids being allowed in? Like, was it just today, or was is that in regards to your scenario?
Oh yeah, it was. I guess just for today. I have no idea, but it was an absolute nightmare. And you have a lot of pissed off parents.
Oh, for sure.
Just the only thing they're looking for is a good education for their kids.
And day one,
it's
you're
like,
already behind.
Yeah, you're already behind. I mean, just imagine. I mean, well, first of all, the education system. Okay, and I'll give you a perfect. So my friend, and she made a perfect point. She was on, and she said, "Listen, it's different in other countries. Other countries, even South American countries, and India, and some of these other countries, Japan, China." They take education very seriously. It's very, very serious.
Right.
And we're kind of the brunt of the jokes when it comes to our education system.
Well, Florida in particular.
Yeah, Florida in particular. It is a fucking joke, man. I mean, it is an absolute joke. I don't know who's running the show here. You remember when they came out with the lottery? Remember Florida never had a lottery, and they said, all the lottery money is
for education.
Lottery's going for education. And
scholarships.
Yeah.
It
It's
went
just
for like everything
roads.
but education.
it is just so messed up, man. I mean,
It's a shame, and who suffers are the kids.
absolutely. Oh yeah. At the end game,
right.
the kids are the ones that suffer.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. They're not getting an education. They're not, and then on top of that, with all this COVID or COVID, right? Our friend in New York calls it COVID. Jesus Christ! Shut up, please. Don't call anymore.
Right.
Stop calling us. Yeah, COVID. We sat back the other day and we're like, and we were over on the West Coast and we're watching all these people and they're walking on the street at John's Pass. So they're out walking around and stuff and they're wearing their masks outside. And I'm thinking to myself, what a bunch of sheep, man. I mean, seriously. I saw a guy, swear to God, today, driving a convertible Corvette, and him and his wife were wearing masks in the Corvette driving.
What's the sense of putting the top down?
What's the sense of even going out if you're going to be in that much in fear of COVID? I mean,
yeah, and I picked up a pizza yesterday just from a local pizza place here, and I had my mask on.
Wait a minute. When did you stop the diet?
What's that?
When did you stop the diet? Because you went back on the diet last. So
your birthday.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Well,
you're gonna get back on Monday.
Did you eat the pizza through the mask?
Yeah, it was really rough. So no, but he had mentioned that day, the police had seen, I guess, a couple of people or 2 or 3 people come in just to pick up their pizza, and they waited at the front door and they brought it to them and they paid for it.
Right.
And they didn't have masks on, and cop came in and cited him.
Oh yeah, you'll get a
Wrote him up.
ticket.
He said 3 times in one day.
Yeah, you'll get a ticket, man.
And
It's
he's
crazy.
Like, well,
Yeah, it's.
What am I supposed to do? Like not give him his pizza?
It's listen, man.
Or
This
leave
whole,
it out of the curb and then
this
have you
whole
leave the money
COVID
on there.
thing is just way out of control, man. And even though the numbers are going down, the deaths are going down, the testing's going down, everybody's saying it's absolutely like insane. When I look at Buddy Dyer, man, I want to punch him right in his fucking face. Seriously, he's bankrupting his city, man. And you know what? People are going to vote for him next year. It's such a liberal city, and he's so pro. I'm not going to get into it, but he's pro. You know what I'm talking about? That he gets votes. People vote for him. They're sheep, absolute sheep, man. It's crazy to see. I can't even watch it. I can't watch the news anymore. I don't even like being in public anymore. Watching people walk around, they'll move their mask to light up a cigarette,
right?
And smoke a cancer stick, okay? But they'll put their mask back on real quick so they don't get COVID.
Yeah. They'll blow their smoke at everybody.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right?
They don't care. Yeah. So
yeah, because
whatever,
you wouldn't want to blow it into your own mask.
But like
and
I
have to
said,
breathe it.
Dave and I saw guys.
let everyone else breathe it.
Dave and I on a major street saw a guy stop in the road, pull his mask down, and light a cigarette and smoke
in the middle of the road on
middle of the
434 because he couldn't see, couldn't do so many things at once. He literally just kind of like stopped.
Stop.
Completely. No. The light's green. It's about 60 yards after the light. He stopped. And I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? And we slow down to look at him. He's got his mask pulled up right here. And he's got a
Under his
cigarette,
nose?
and he's like going. And I'm like, look at that idiot. Look at him. I mean, what do you say to that?
Can't see
You're an
him.
idiot. It's like at least pull into a parking lot and park or something, you
No,
know?
he doesn't want to inconvenience him. He'll
Right, yeah.
inconvenience everybody else. That's a liberal. Yeah, it is. It is. I swear, pulling
I know,
out of our
it's a-
neighborhood today. True story. God's honest truth. There was a lady and an older lady. They were in a car. They literally went to the stop sign, stopped at the stop sign, pulled out a bunch of things, pulled out masks, started putting their mask on. Now, there's no traffic, so I was behind them, and I could literally have gone like 10 times. But they went ahead with their stuff to make sure that they had their masks on and they had all their stuff necessary to travel, okay? By putting me and 3 other people, it backed up 3 other people. You know, people
And then as
don't
soon as
think.
they went,
Yeah, aren't
Mars
you
started
supposed
coming,
to
right?
do that before you start your car to leave on your trip?
Yeah.
Not like in
Yeah,
the middle
people
of
don't care, man. People don't care about anybody
No,
anymore,
it's a
man.
mask. You don't put it on until you get there.
It's nobody gives a shit about anybody anymore. It's all about them. Me. And that's just
Yeah,
the way it is.
when we were pulling into the parking lot to pick up the pizza, you know, there
What pizza place is it?
Papa Joe's.
Oh, Papa Joe's is good.
A really good pizza.
Good pizza,
yeah.
man.
So I stopped because I see a lady putting some stuff in her car. She had an SUV like in the back, and I figured, you know, she's about to leave, so I'll pull in there because the rest of the line was filled.
And she
with
did it.
cars.
She shut it and left without telling you, "Oh, I'm staying."
Well, like she gets in, shuts her, you know, the rear of the vehicle, goes around, and then gets in her car, puts on her seatbelt, turns on the engine, and then gets on a cell phone call. And she's just sitting there, and I'm like looking at it. It's like 3 or 4 minutes, and then cars are backing up behind me, and she just decides to start calling people on her cell phone in the parking space. It's like,
Oh, I can beat
what
that.
are you doing?
Okay, here's me the other day. Dollar General, put my mask on. I go in. I have to get like 5 things. I'm like, this is
That'd be
awesome.
$5.
I go in. Not everything's $1 there.
Oh.
I mean, there's things that are over $1. Anyway, point is, they got the arrows. This is how you go to cash out.
Right.
It's all blocked off. It's all, you know, arrows on the floor.
COVID.
I'm going to walk in. This guy looks at me, and he's like right by the register, but he comes in the opposite direction, and he like looks at me. He just turns in, and I'm like waiting for him to like look. He's got a whole cart full of shit.
Right.
And when I say a cart full of shit, he looks at me and he looks at my stuff, and he just turns around, and he starts putting stuff on the thing, and I'm like, you motherfucker.
Oh,
You want to guess what his total was? What his bill was?
$300.
$152 at a dollar store.
at a dollar store.
He was getting
And
like
he
these.
cuts in front of someone with what, 4 items?
I had 4 or 5 items.
It's like, come on.
Dude, I was
Idiots,
like,
dude.
and he sits there, and I'm like, my head's about to pop off, right? I mean, like
That'd be a big pop.
I am seething, and you know what kind of mess that would have made.
Ooh, man.
So I'm sitting there, and
not cleaning it up.
and I'm herb aisle 7,
Yeah.
8, 9, 11.
Yeah. We just skipped 10. The shit bounced.
But he had, I shit you not, he had these like little trinkets that were like looked like little keychain things, and she's like beep, and the girl was like this.
Oh, that's the worst, too. Where it's just like,
I was
they're
in
moving
there.
like a
I was
snail.
probably in there for about 7 minutes in line, you know, like for just his checkout. And then afterwards, she gives him the thing, and I like start walking because I've, you know, respected the 6-foot thing. He's not leaving, and he's looking at his
Lane
receipt.
closed.
He's looking at his receipt, and I'm like, I like get right up on him,
Yeah.
and he like knew I was like,
yeah.
and I'm like, I think you should probably move out of the way.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
$152 at a dollar store. I had 5 items.
What were the items? Do you mind sharing?
I had
Deodorant?
soap. I had body wash, Q-tips, powder, toothpaste, and cotton rounds
Cotton rounds.
for, you know, with witch hazel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Witch hazel.
But I have witch hazel, so it was just
I need something for my arse.
cotton rounds and witch hazel.
Yeah, dude, my arse is killing me, man.
Oh no, you need it's called butt butter.
What?
It's called butt butter. Cyclists use it all the time.
Yeah, I need to put something on there, man. Rub it in
I
there.
have to Google that.
Are you chafed? Is it chafing?
Yeah, yeah.
You're not wearing the shorts though, are you?
No, today I wore the shorts and
Did
it
they
still
help?
didn't help. No, but it's already been chafed, so it's
Yeah.
like, you know.
Are you
so-
putting any powder on?
No, I don't put powder on my ass.
How about olive oil?
Have you thought about just taking the seat off?
Can you explain your chafing in great
Then I'll use
detail
olive
for
oil.
us?
Yeah, man. Riding a bike, it's cycling.
Yeah.
It's man, it's my
You want to talk about a sport that will change
It's an ass
your,
killer.
ass
will-
killer, leg killer, legs, ass.
yeah.
I mean, just
Dude,
endurance.
give it
man.
90 days the way you're riding right now. In
Yeah.
90 days, you'll have a complete your physique will go through a complete metamorphic change.
Man, I like metamorphic changes. I need to. I mean,
No, but I mean healthy.
I can
It's really.
I can feel it now. Like
Oh,
my
yeah.
legs are tightened up, and
Well, you rode 75 miles, 85 miles last week.
yeah, man. We're trying to ride like 100, 120 miles a week. You know, but my riding partner, you know, she's been very busy, and
You got to go. You'll get to where you probably should do 30 miles on that bike. It would be about an hour, about 2 hour ride. You should probably do between 30 and 40 miles. Would be on those types of bikes.
that's a long ride.
Yeah.
20 there, 20 back.
But what you got to
40
do is
miles.
you got to find loops so that you don't ride the same thing. And those
That's
types
what she said.
Those
the
type
other day.
of
She's
bikes.
like, I'm bored with Wakai.
Those
Yeah,
type of
right.
bikes
Yeah.
on that particular trail,
Yeah.
you should probably go West Orange because there's more. There's not as many stops.
More squirrels you can run over.
No, it's that bike on that trail it's really not good.
Right.
You know, it's like you start getting going, you stop.
Right.
You start getting going, you stop, and there's a lot of traffic.
Right.
So, but it'll get better.
Yeah. I hope. I
It'll
love
get
riding,
better.
man. I'm addicted to it. I want to go in the morning. I don't
Mm-hmm.
even know if I'll be able to, but I want to definitely go in the morning.
I could
It
actually
feels great, dude.
show you some loops around here where you could ride through neighborhoods.
It feels great when you're done.
Yeah.
And you can't move, and you get off, and you put your bike down, and it's like
Yeah,
it feels fantastic.
it's a definitely
Oh,
a stress
yeah.
reliever.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
big time.
It's in cardio. I mean, it's great for your heart.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been great. My knee hasn't been bothering me at all.
Oh no, it's perfect for your knee. It's
Knee has not been bothering me, which is really, really
high
good.
intensity,
Just my arse.
but low.
Yeah, my butt's been bothering me.
Yeah.
But that's normal. I got to get some. Start wearing those cycle shorts.
You got to.
Yeah.
Or butt.
You can
butter.
wear shorts over them.
Butt plug.
Stop.
butt butter. I said.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I thought you said butt plug.
I'm like, come
And
on.
then I
Stacey.
thought, I'm like, do they have those for
Do they-
cycling?
I don't know.
This is called the road bike.
Yeah. You
This
can
is
get the
called the mountain
permanent one.
The mountain bike is a shock.
Yeah, we want to go. So we heard that mountain biking, that there's a big thing out in Mount Dora, big mountain biking complex out there. We want to get mountain bikes and go out mountain biking.
I haven't seen that one. I do know that there is a place, Winter Springs, where you can go out into the woods. Whole different style.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Way different. All upper body. This is lower
Completely
body.
different. The
yeah.
style is completely different. The gearing ratio is
Yeah.
is,
Oh, yeah,
is
man.
way. You know, your sprocket's like this.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like you got probably. I think that one that you have is I think like a 52 or 54 tooth.
Right.
You probably have 30. I don't know, mountain bike.
30 teeths.
Teeth.
So it's a
It's a baby shark.
Teethus.
completely different riding.
56 minutes we've been on. We can 4 more minutes. We can call it a night.
We can call it a night now if you want.
Jesus, I'm tired. Anybody else tired?
I'm exhausted.
I'm a bit tired.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna have to do something. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. We really didn't talk about Consult.
We can go to it right now.
No, we're good. I'm good. I mean,
Nope, not gonna happen.
we can refer back to older videos for Consult, but I really don't.
Well, we got a couple of big days coming up. So
We do have a couple.
Wednesday.
Consult Enterprise.
We gotta
have
break
a
down
couple
the
big
studio.
videos. Yeah. Yeah. We can just do it in the morning. They're
We're-
not going to be here until 2 tomorrow.
We're starting this tonight.
Okay. All right. Well, have at it. Break it down.
Break it down.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, man, you got a lot to do. You know what? Don't even break it down, man. I'll bring them in here. I'll just bring them in here in the studio. They'll get a kick out of it anyway.
Yeah.
They like the studio. I mean, when we bring people in here, they look at it and go, "Oh man, this
Yeah.
is cool." Just
It
don't
is
even,
cool.
Yeah, don't even
You
break
sure?
it down. Yeah, don't even break it down. Everybody's got a little seating area and whatever, and we'll just move the microphones out of the way. Just they turn.
Or
right?
let them put the headphones on. They'll be like real.
Yeah, we'll
psyched
just
up.
have a meeting with the headphones on.
Right.
Yeah,
And
well,
I'll go Facebook Live.
Well, you know what? I like talking to him with the headphones on. Well, him wearing the headphones
'Cause he can hear.
He can hear.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
Ish.
What?
He could hear.
Yeah. All right, good. Let's get the hell out of here. Thanks everybody for joining us. We'll be back Wednesday. Wednesday?
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Wednesday. We don't know what time. 3, 4ish, around in there.
Some-
and then
sometime.
Friday.
Mid-afternoon.
3, 4ish. Yeah. So good night.